Well, good Friday morning, church. Welcome to another edition of the Word for You today. And today we're talking about setting healthy boundaries for ourselves. And so we begin with a verse from Proverbs 25, verse 28. Like a city whose walls are broken down is a man who lacks self-control. A Christian leader writes, the Great Wall of China was erected in the 3rd century BC as a defense against raids by nomadic peoples from the north. Throughout succeeding centuries, especially during the Ming Dynasty, the Great Wall was repaired and even extended in length, finally stretching for 4,500 miles. Centuries before it began, biblical cultures used walls to protect themselves and to draw boundaries around themselves for the purposes of identifying the land which was theirs. Now, in order to be effective, these walls had to be regularly maintained. The slightest breach could give the enemy a fateful advantage. There's a valuable lesson here. As a Christian, there is one wall in your defense system that has to be maintained and protected at all times: the wall of self-control. The Bible says, whoever has no rule over his own spirit is like a city broken down without walls. Your failure to maintain self-control is like opening the city gates and issuing an invitation to the devil to attack you. J. Wilbur Chapman, one of history's great preachers, formulated what he called my rule for Christian living. And it's a rule you should endeavor to live by. He said, the rule that governs my life is this: anything that dims my vision of Christ, or takes away my taste for Bible study, or cramps my prayer life, or makes Christian work difficult, is wrong for me, and I must, as a Christian, turn away from it. So the question for today: have your boundary walls been breached or fallen into disrepair? If so, do something about it today. You know, last week I had an opportunity to go to the Billy Graham Library. And very early in their ministry, the Billy Graham evangelistic team got together in a hotel room and they came up with what was known as the Modesto Manifesto. It was something that was never written down, but they all lived by it. The manifesto included provisions for how they would distribute money that was taken in offerings, how to avoid criticism of local churches, to work only with churches that supported cooperative evangelism, and using the official estimates of crowd sizes rather than their own numbers in order to avoid exaggeration. These policies would help Billy Graham and his team avoid charges of financial exploitation and hucksterism. But nothing loomed larger than sex. The most famous provision of the manifesto called for each man on the Graham team never to be alone with a woman other than his wife. Graham, from that day forward, pledged not to eat, travel, or meet with a woman other than his wife Ruth, unless other people were present. This pledge guaranteed safety to Billy Graham and enabled him to dodge accusations that have waylaid evangelists for many, many decades. Billy Graham lived by that manifesto. He built that wall around himself and his team. And what a difference it made as they ministered for so many years. So make sure your wall is strong and make sure that you're protected by Jesus. So that's what we've got for today. Reminder, no Word for You Today episodes tomorrow or Sunday, but there are some great devotionals, Sunday especially, on prayer. You're going to want to make sure you read it. So if you're not getting one of these, make sure you let the church office know so we can get it to you. Also a reminder that on Saturday morning, we're going to be doing all of the decorating, getting ready for our drive-through Christmas experience on Sunday. We've got 2 services Sunday morning at 9 and 11, both in person and online, and then our drive-through experience Sunday night at 6:30. It'll go from 6:30 to 8, so we invite you to come through and be a part of the Christmas season, even if you're still not quite ready to come out in person and sit with others. So you can do this from the safety of your car and enjoy the Christmas experience. So we hope to see you this weekend. Have a blessed weekend, and the next time I talk to you, it'll be on Christmas morning on the Word for You today. So, have a Merry Christmas. Love you, church.